Wasps did show a bit of heart. Di Young, their director of rugby, he showed concern for the welfare of Kurtley when they spoke to him today.
At the end of the day, you want to make sure that the player's all right. I think, forget Wasps and forget what it does, making sure that the player's all right, because you never want to see a player obviously seriously injured. Now, by all accounts, it's going to be anything between 4 to 6 months, which isn't great for the player. For us, he's going to be probably mid-September, but if he's not right in September, or October, he's not right. The first and foremost thing to us is the player. If coming over slightly earlier is the best for his rehab, so he has a longer period with us, so be it. Staying there for a little bit longer may be the best.
Coach chat there, a bit of coach chat. You like that sort of stuff, don't you?
Oh, no, I was just a bit surprised because if he's going to be right in September, October, he'll be playing for us in the Rugby Championship. He won't be playing for Wasps. So, I hope that's the case.
Did you give them any threats that you were going to, have you threatened any of the clubs going, I'm going to grab all these blokes for all the test matches, I'm going to train them hard and they'll be no good when they come back?
There's no need to make threats, mate. We've got clear rules in place around when you're eligible. Well, even in our own, like over 60 caps, you qualify if you don't have 60 caps. So when they take these players, they know that, right? So, and then there's Reg 9, and that Reg 9 was brought in particular where a lot of players were getting pressed hard by overseas clubs not to play, especially some of the Pacific Island nations, etc., not to play international footy because, to earn the money back in their clubs when everyone else was missing, and that's what that was specifically brought in for. So, look, it's going to become more and more apparent for us here because there's another TV deal in the offing coming up in England in 18 and, more of our players, it's just the nature of the beast, lots of money over there, more of our players are going to get attracted over. So we just got to, do our best to keep making sure that guys always have the opportunity to play for Australia where possible.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we've seen a scenario where Australia now have got brought in the Giddo law. New Zealand doesn't have any of those elements. If you're not playing domestically, you are not considered. What is your take on the so-called Giddo law here? Do you think it's going to encourage players probably to take that opportunity, or?
Yeah, well, I think a player that's reached 60 games now and he gets an offer, he knows he's not giving up the Wallabies jersey, so he knows that he can head overseas, take the money, and still be available for the Wallabies. And maybe the depth at a stage where it's still good for the Wallabies to have that opportunity for those senior players, experienced players to go over, earn their money, and still play for the Wallabies. But New Zealand aren't going to go down that road, and the decision's going to be if you want to go overseas, you're giving up your All Blacks jersey. So it's a clear-cut decision, and maybe they have the depth where they can enforce that type of protect their domestic players and keep the domestic players at home. But it's a challenge, and I guess if you are a senior player and you've reached, you sort of 60 becomes a pretty good mark for you now as a Wallaby. If I can reach that 60, it gives me a lot more freedom to get overseas and still be available for the Gold Coast.